What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, in this video, I want to talk about a boy group, a boy band, right, that came about toward the heart and then the latter stages of that era where you saw a lot of boy bands. Okay, now, not to say there obviously weren't boy bands before that, the Jackson 5, New Edition, but there was like a period of time, you guys remember this, from the mid 90s into the early to mid 2000s, where you saw a lot of them, All For Real, the Jonas Brothers, uh, you know, so many others. But in this particular instance, I'm talking about B2K. Now, B2K were together from 1998 to 2004, and they consisted of four individuals. Omarion, who was considered the star, Raz B, J Boog, and Little Fuzz, and they were managed by Chris Stokes. And the group met in 1998 and was managed, as I just said, by music producer Chris Stokes. That was during Marquise Houston, who famously was with another boy group that was famous in the early 1990s, Immature. Now, they all met during Marquise Houston's 18th birthday party that Chris Stokes was hosting in 1999. And that's when Omarion joined the group. And they named their group B2K to represent the fact that they got together during this time period where, a lot of people was talking about the Y2K bug and, Y2K was represent 2000. So B2K represented boys of the new millennium, okay, the new generation, 2000. Now, me personally, at that time I was about Omarion's age. Not Marion's age, excuse me, Marquise Houston's age. A little bit older. I was about 19 going on 20. So I'm more of, like as far as boy bands is concerned, I'm closer to Immature. So I didn't really feel them, you know what I'm saying? Like they were a little bit younger than me. Not to say they didn't have some songs I didn't like, but I wasn't really feeling them like that. Um, but they did make some good songs, you know what I'm saying? Um, they made a cameo in Little Bow Wow's video for Ghetto Girls and were the opening act on the Scream Tour 1. They also appeared in IMX's video for Clap Your Hands. B2K broke into the US pop charts in late 2001 with their single, Uh-huh. The group's debut album, B2K, was released on March 12, 2002. The album peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the US Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs Albums chart. Their debut album included follow-up singles including Gots to Be, which managed to break the top 40 by charting at number 34. Their final single, Why I Love You, was released in the spring, along with a music video that featured cameos from label mates Jenny Ako and Naya Rivera, the late Naya Rivera. Even though it had been seen very little success on the Billboard 100, charting at number 73, it entered the top 20 on the U.S. Hot R&B Hip Hop songs chart, charting at number 19. The group's debut album was certified gold in the summer. B2K also performed a concert special for Nickelodeon because their target audience obviously were kids at the time in July of that year. They were also featured in the magazines Word Up and Right On, along with other R&B artists. After performing on the Screen Tour 2 with Bow Wow, TG4, and IMAX, B2K released a Christmas album titled Santa Hooked Me Up. That same year, the group released their fourth single, Bump, 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 which featured Bad Boy executive P. Diddy, which was the lead single on their second album. Not long after that, B2K released their second album, Pandemonium, on December 10th of 2002, and featured collaborations with P. Diddy, Makeba Riddick, Romeo of IMX, and Janae. Pandemonium debuted at number 10 on the Billboard 200 and at number 3 on the top R&B hip-hop albums. The lead single, Bump, 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 peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the group's first top 10 and number 1 single. The second single, Girlfriend, was released in 2003 and broke the top 40 in U.S. R&B top 20 by charting at number 30 and number 19 respectively. The single was promoted with a music video featuring Will Smith, Vivica A. Fox, Flex Alexander, Ronald Isley, what's on my tongue today, and Jennifer Freeman. This shows you how long ago. Flex Alexander? Ooh, damn. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Flex Alexander. Jesus. The final single, What a Girl Wants, had only minor success in the U.S. R&B Songs chart, charting at number 47. They were featured on the Screen Tour 3, along with Marquis Houston, Nick Cannon, Aja, Janae, and Mario. In 2003, all the members filmed the movie You Got Served, along with IMX members Marquis Houston and Jerome Jones, TV host Steve Harvey, and actresses Megan Good and Jennifer Freeman. The movie starred Houston and Marion as the lead members of a dance crew that compete in a competition with the members of B2K as the rest of their crew members. The movie also spawned a soundtrack, which included the single Bada Boom, which featured rapper Fabulous and charted number 51 on the Billboard Hot 100. Yeah, that's 2003, all right. Fabulous. That was like his year. Remember he had that song, Fabulous had that song on NBA Live 2003. That's like the main goddamn song that always played when you fucking turn the game on and shit. I think that's the one that had Jason Kidd on the cover. Around the time the movie was released, manager Chris Stokes announced the group's split, claiming internal disagreements for the split. Omarion went solo and has released 4 albums since then, including one album just last year. They also, quote, wanted to be treated fairly, unquote. However, Omarion chose to stay with Stokes and let him manage his solo career. During the band's separation, each member ventured off into solo careers, collaborations, and endeavors. Starting from 2005, Omarion embarked on a popular musical journey, becoming a solo artist, releasing 6 studio albums, including a collaboration album with Bow Wow and an unreleased album called Reasons. From 2005 to 2007, Little Fuzz guest starred on Fox's comedy series The War at Home for 2 seasons. After much controversy, Raz B relocated overseas to China in pursuit of a solo career, as well as becoming an entrepreneur and manager of his own record label. In 2009, J Boog partnered with Little Fizz on a 5-track EP album, Nightlife. J Boog also partnered with IMX bandmate and relative Marquis Houston in becoming a writer-producer, as well as vice president for Houston's film production company, Footage Film. In 2014, Omarion and Fizz became main cast members of VH1's reality show drama Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, where both members showcased their private lives with their relationships. Now, in 2018, in December 2018 to be exact, it was announced that after 15 years, B2K would finally reunite for the Millennium Tour in 2019. The 3-month city tour occurred March, April, and May of 2019. The location and dates have been released on New Year's Eve 2018 through G Squared Events website. The tour featured all four members of B2K with as well as several other mid-2000 urban artists, including Pretty Ricky, Chingy, Yin Yang Twins, Mario, Bobby V, and Lloyd. As of yet, there are no announcements of a new album from the band. However, in a few interviews, they hinted that anything is possible in the future. Now, during the 3 months of the Millennium Tour, Raz B was involved in multiple incidents, which will also be documented as he officially joined as the newest cast member of VH1's reality show Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. And there have been a lot of different instances. I don't really want to get into all of them. But Raz B comes across to me as one of either two things. He's either a very troubled young man who has been the recipient of disgusting and revolting sexual abuse. He's levied sexual abuse charges against his former manager and the manager of the group. And also, I believe he's levied charges against Marquise Houston. So that's apparently charges levied against both Chris Stokes and Marquise Houston. Both of them have denied it. And the only thing that hurts Raz B's credibility on this is that there have been times when he's retracted these accusations, especially when he was pressured to take a polygraph test. But then again, he's asked them to take polygraph tests, which they didn't step up to do. So I don't know. Something went wrong. You know, either he suffered from mental illness exclusively, and or he suffers from mental illness and was the victim of sex abuse. But yeah, this is something that has grown since the breakup of that group. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought it wasn't just Raz B that accused the group, or that accused Chris Stokes of sexual abuse. Let me look something up right quick. So let me see. This first came out in 2007, toward the end of 2007. So um, former B2K manager Chris Stokes is vehemently denying claims of sexual molestation that appear in a recent online video made by a group member Raz B and his older brother. That's right, it was his older brother too, who now manages the remaining members of B2K. Stokes, who released a statement Tuesday denying the allegations made by Raz B, repeated his claims when he spoke exclusively with MTV News on Wednesday. Among the allegations made by Raz B, born DeMario Thornton, and his older brother Ricardo, Ricky Romantic Thornton, in the widely circulated clip are that Stokes touched Raz B when he was a child and forced him to shower with the other members of the group. The pair claimed in the video that Marquise Houston was also molested by Stokes. All the allegations they made are false. I've been with my wife for 16 years. I have 4 kids. I'm not gay. I'm not a child molester, so those are all false allegations. I'm going to sue them, and if I owe that, to my wife and kids, period, it's ridiculous. But this is the thing I don't understand right now. My memory is a little bit fading on some of this stuff, right? But didn't it come out something about, I can't remember whether it was this case or another case, but I'm thinking it's this case with Chris Stokes, right? Didn't something come out saying that Chris Stokes was like, not only was he a pedophile, but he had something about feet, like he had this foot fetish or something, and there were these photographs that came out of Raz B, I think, and his brother when they were younger. and like it's pictures of somebody like somebody took a picture of their feet or something. Like I know I'm not having I'm not misremembering that or like false memories. I could have sworn I remember seeing some shit like that. Like it was pictures of them as kids with somebody take a picture of their feet and shit. And that's some pervert shit. And look, I've always told you guys, man, about Hollywood. Hollywood is rampant with sexual abuse. And this isn't something that just started. This has gone on since the inception of Hollywood. All those, you know, silent movie actors, they were engaged in that shit. You know, Charlie Chaplin was flogged for all intents and purposes. Charlie Chaplin was a child molester. He would be considered a child molester today. Um, Shirley Temple had to fight off movie executives and other actors who were trying to molest her when she was a little girl. When I say little girl, I don't mean when she was 16 or 17. I mean when she was fucking 6 years old, 5 years old. When she was a little girl, I think when she was 8 or 9, I can't remember how old she said she was. 12? I remember reading Shirley Temple said, I know she wasn't a teenager yet. She said that this fucking movie mogul who ran a major Hollywood motion picture company, studio, right, showed her his dick, had her sit on his lap and showed her his dick. And he got mad because she started laughing. She's a little girl. She don't know anything about sex. Fucking perverted piece of shit. So, you know what I'm saying? If that did happen to Roz B, I hope Chris Stokes, I hope all these motherfuckers somehow, some way, go to jail or something. But you know how that works, man. And anyway, you kind of, you know what I'm saying? It kind of makes me rethink all of this stuff. It kind of makes me rethink all this stuff when you got P. Diddy involved and all these other individuals. You know, I don't know, man. Like, it makes you rethink that whole period and what's happening to some of these kids. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely something that goes on in Hollywood when you think about all these child actors and how troubled they are and how a lot of them end up, number one, going to drugs, commit suicide, skid row, depression. A lot of them are gay, you know what I'm saying, or think they're gay. There's definitely a lot of ominous shit going on in Hollywood. We saw what happened to Corey Haim. You see what Corey Feldman talks about. He's afraid to name certain names for fear of probably his life, right? But I think it's really deeply immersed in Hollywood. I think, me personally, I think almost every actor, every successful star in Hollywood has had to do certain things to get to where they are. And I think that's why a lot of them are so miserable. Why a lot of these stars are miserable. Why a lot of these people who you think have these dream lives, like, Michael Jackson and maybe even Prince to a certain extent, and definitely Whitney Houston. Why are so many of them so troubled? Because of, I think, the fact that a lot of them are not happy by how they achieve their success. That insecurity eats at them. Is it my talent? Or is it because I let the head of the studio and his next in line or his subordinate have a threesome with me, take pictures of me, they keep in a this non-disclosed area, and they'll use this blackmail against me if I ever uh, you know get out of line or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or it can ruin my career. Shit like that. I'm just putting that out there. Just an example. But anyway, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there. Just wanted to talk about this group, man, B2K, for a little period of time, man. They, put out some good music, and hopefully, they can come together without Chris Stokes, without Marquise Houston, and make some more magic. Tell me what you guys think.